What's good, y'all? Buckle up, coming through on a quick drop special. Big ups to everybody already subbed in. You already subbed in, appreciate it. If you're not subbed in, sub in, and welcome. And of course, you feel what I'm talking about? Make sure you hit that like sign before you get out of here. Hit that like button before you get out of here. And don't forget, if you want 12 games over a 30-day period, with the first 3 games free, just for getting a monthly pass, text 443-717-1848. Simply text 3 words. You want in. That's it. You take it from there. You want in. Take the money off the floor, and as always, Sports Edition 101 Cash App link is in the description box for those who win without a pass and still want to show love. Alright? So, let's get to the chart, y'all. Let's get to the chart. Okay, so first of all, I want to start off by saying, so Bark for the Bone, you say, how is Shakur a better fighter than Devin? You keep throwing that question in the air. How is Shakur a better fighter than Devin? Well, because first of all, because the eye test tells us that we see a better fighter. Okay? Talking about 2 guys who move around the ring, who try to, throw jabs and use the science of hit and not be hit and all that type of shit. And when you look at these guys trying to use that type of science of hit and not get hit, Shakur look like he does it better. Alright, we ain't seen Shakur get caught with left hooks and dropped over and over and shit like that. We never seen shit like that happen with Shakur. So that is why we feel like Shakur does it better. You know, and no matter like how much you try to knock Shakur with De Los Santos a hell of a fighter. De Los Santos is a hell of a fighter. And that was a good fight for Shakur. And Shakur fought that fight how he was supposed to fight it. He wasn't supposed to fight it how you wanted him to fight it and fuck around and got caught with something from De Los Santos that he couldn't get back up from. So he kept himself from doing some shit like that. So that was a good fight that Shakur had with De Los Santos. At least he wasn't doing what Jake Paul was just doing, leaning down, grabbing De Los Santos' knees and all that shit, running all around the motherfucking ring like that. He was doing some scientific hit and not get hit shit. And right now, I think Shakur does it the best. Now, Deontay Wilder had to jump through one loop. He had to jump through one loop from the A-side Joshua team. And that one loop, y'all, he continuously talk about this Deontay Wilder shit, jealous of shit of AJ because AJ just beat Jake Paul. But the A-side team from Joshua, they offered this man $12.5 million for Undisputed in the UK. They offered this man $12.5 million for Undisputed in the UK. That came from the A side for those that might still don't understand or know that. That shit came from the A side. The $12.5 million for Undisputed in the UK. That came from Anthony Joshua and them. Wilder was the motherfucking B side, y'all. And y'all hear how this nigga always talking A-side offers and B-side offers and who didn't do this and this person ducked that and this person ducked that. If he the A-side, why he ain't send an offer? The A-side sends the offer. The A, you who say that the most? You hear that motherfucker goofy ass nigga say that shit the most, right? So with his own words, Deontay Wilder was the B-side. He ducked 12.5 mil for Undisputed in the UK. Please keep in mind, y'all, the A-side did exactly what this lame goofball be spitting. This lame goofball be sitting up there saying out his own mouth. He sent the B-side, Deontay Wilder, the offer of 12.5 mil, and BFTB keep trying to mix y'all mind up and make you think the B-side counter offer. Listen, y'all, he keep trying to mix this shit up. The B-side counter offer of 50 mil was the A-side. He keep trying to make it seem like it was the A-side offer, y'all. The B-side offer, the B-side counter offer of 50 mil, he keep trying to make it seem like it was the A-side offer, and it wasn't. All right? And let me let y'all know something else. The PBC wasn't putting up 50 mil because Wilder was only making 1 to 2 mil a fight at the time. Back then, when they was trying to get a AJ fight, he was making 1 to 2 mil a fight at the time. So Wilder had to try to get, he had to try to get 50 mil from people Anthony Joshua can't even deal with at all. And it wasn't guaranteed he was getting it from them. And bottom line, y'all, it was a fucking B-side offer that the A-side don't gotta take. It was a B-side offer. Yeah. Wasn't, like I said, wasn't even guaranteed anyway. And AJ couldn't fuck with who he was getting that money from anyway. So what the A-side Joshua team do? What the A-side Joshua team done was they upped the A-side ante. They upped the ante to 15 mil for Wilder to come and get Undisputed from AJ in the UK by taking them 3 belts from him. They offered him 15 mil, y'all. After they got to talking about AJ and them said, we ain't trying to hear that 50 mil shit, whatever the fuck you talking about, that B-side offer shit you talking about, we ain't with that. We not doing it like that. You doing shit from the side, from our side. We putting the offer out that you gonna take. Simple as that. So they upped the ante to 15 mil for Undisputed in the UK, for Wilder to come take them 3 belts. He took too long with that offer. He took so long, like a whole nother week, waiting around after they already been talking about this 50 mil. The 12.5 mil and the 50 mil already been going on for months. It started with the 12.5 A-side offer. Then the 50 mil shit got added. Months and months and months going by. Time flying by. And now they offer him 15 mil. He let another week go past. He took too long, so they made Anthony Joshua fight his motherfucking mandatory in Povetkin. I mean, made him fight his mandatory in Povetkin. Then after he fought his mandatory in Povetkin, they offered Wilder 120 mil on a 3-fight deal, and he turned that down too. Yeah, they offer him 120 mil on a 3-fight deal. And he turned that down too. And the fraud ass nigga, Bark for the Bone, aka BFTB, that fraud ass nigga that try to have a show calling fighters frauds, that fraud ass nigga try to tell y'all that AJ wasn't on a 3-fight deal. That AJ wasn't on a 3-fight deal. So I guess Daz and don't want to profit off the 120 mil that they was going to give Wilder. That's what he was trying to tell us. He was trying to tell us that they was going to give Wilder 120 mil and then not make 2 fights with AJ and Wilder like they said they was going to make. Of course they was going to make that because that's the only way they was going to profit off 120 mil. It's the only way they was going to make money off the 100. They wasn't just going to give him 120 mil just to fight anybody and not get their money back and then profit off of it. Of course they was going to put AJ. Of course AJ was going to be on the 3-fight deal. Of course. But the lame-ass, goofy nigga, bark for the bone, try to tell y'all different just to cover for it, to not call Wilder a duck. If that was Shakur turning down 120 mil for a 3-fight deal, he would call Shakur a duck. That's a duck. That's a duck. When you do shit like that, you ducked. You ducked 12.5 mil. That's a duck. The A-side initial offer was a duck. Yeah. And then you then you didn't take the 15 mil. That was another duck. If Shakur did that kind of shit, that would be a duck. That is a duck. Goofy ass, donut ass nigga. Shakur didn't turn down 25%. Shakur said he wanted more money. He wanted what the fuck he was entitled to get. Goofy ass, donut ass nigga. The PBC, Deontay Wilder ducked the fuck out of Anthony Joshua. Why this pussy nigga keep trying to bring up the situation, the cover for Wilder, but talk about how Shakur supposed to duck Devin because Shakur wanted the 30% he was entitled to. He wanted what he was entitled to at least. Shakur didn't want 50-50, y'all. He didn't want 50-50 shit. Shakur wanted more money. That's another thing. That's another false narrative that Bark for the Bone try to run, the 50-50. So y'all won't be thinking about the 30%. That's why he keeps saying 50-50, because he don't want you to think about the 30%. He was entitled to 30%. So at the least, he wanted 30%. I mean, Devin told Bob Erm, listen, Devin Haney told Bob Erm, like Bob Erm told us on an interview, he told us Devin wasn't comfortable making 135 and really wanted to go to 140. That's what Devin told Bob Erm behind closed doors. That's what he told Bob Erm, and I believe Bob Erm. Bob Erm wouldn't say that shit for nothing. I believe that to be true. He told us that Devin, Bob Erm told us that Devin shot Shakur a bullshit 25% offer because he already knew that Shakur was going to want the 30% that he was entitled to, and that would keep them from being able to fight. So of course, Devin ducked the fuck out of Shakur, and the reason it's called a duck is because Devin faked like he was comfortable at 135 to the public. He was faking like he was comfortable at 135 to the public and gave Shakur an offer that he knew Shakur wouldn't take. And that's why the duck, and that's why that's a duck. If Devin didn't feel comfortable at 135, he shouldn't have even had an attempt to send no offer to Shakur or have no offer sent to Shakur, knowing he wouldn't take it, knowing he could get 30% at the least. Why would he take 25% if he don't know how much money it's going to be? They didn't even know how much money it's going to be. Why would you take 25% of you don't know how much money it's going to be? Why would you do that? Y'all feel me? Why would you do that? And Frank Martin for sure ducked the fuck out of Shakur. Frank Martin for sure ducked the fuck out of Shakur because to this day, Frank Martin is still a nobody. Frank Martin made 250 mil. He made 250 mil. The fight, I mean, my fault, y'all. Not 250 mil, my bad. Frank Martin made 250,000. All right. Frank Martin made 250,000 to fight before he was offered 1 mil to fight Shakur. And he had the fucking nerve to turn it down. Can you imagine? He made 250K to fight before he was offered $1 million to fight Shakur. You know what I mean? And he turned it down. Frank Martin is a nobody. Rashidi Ellis, who he continuously try to talk about here and there, Rashidi Ellis is still a nobody. You be talking about Rashidi Ellis as if he's somebody, or Frank Martin. Frank Martin ducked the fuck out of Shakur because Frank Martin knew he was getting beat the fuck up. That's why. When you making 250K and someone offers you $1 million and you turn it down, you a duck. You a duck. Deontay Wilder ducked the fuck out of AJ for sure. For sure. Yeah. And Wilder losing to Fury, to A-level Fury, A-level Big Bang Zhang, and A-level Joseph Parker showed us why Wilder never got in with A-level Klitschko or A-level Anthony Joshua. And Wilder's first 30 fights in boxing on his resume, which y'all can always go and look at. I've done videos on this. In his first 30 fights on his in boxing on his resume says it all. And that's why the pussy nigga, the goofy cornball nigga, Bark for the Bone, a.k.a. BFTB, that's why he never shares Deontay Wilder resume with his subs. You will never see him share that resume with his subs. He ashamed. He ashamed to talk about Wilder first 30 fights. He ashamed. And he only try to uplift Frank Martin because he a Earl Spence fighter. That's the only reason that he talk about Frank Martin like he do is because he a Earl Spence fighter. Shut your cornball, goofy, shit mouth talking ass the fuck up. The shit mouth of boxing talk. That's what you is, the shit mouth of boxing talk. False narrative shit mouth pushing ass nigga. And shut your goofy ass up about the odds in Vegas and what they do in Vegas for the betting odds, and they different from New York and this and that. Shut your goofy ass up about betting odds when all of them motherfuckers be ranging around the same. Shut your dummy ass up. You don't know shit about no motherfucking. Shut your pussy made cornball dummy ass the fuck up and go to my shorts and my Twitter page and take a look at what winning looks like. Take a look at what winning a lot looks like. Go take a look at that. I take losses too, but go take a look at what winning a lot looks like. Goofy ass, cornball ass nigga. Go see what it look like to do the damn near live off making the right call. Go see what that look like. You could never be a winner when it comes to Vegas or wherever because you a pussy nigga that's a fan of situations. You a fan of the player or the fighter. You not a motherfucking fan of the sport. And then with boxing, you a fan of a fighter. You find a particular fighter to support. They live off of on your channel. You find a particular fighter. That's what you do. You're not a fan of the sport. That's why your losing percentage is so fucking high. That's why. That's why your losing percentage is so high. Anytime your goofy dummy ass think that OKC from last year or what the fuck you say, or some team from the year before last or something, would have swept Chicago, the Bulls. Made a comment talking about they would have just swept Michael Jordan Bulls. Because, like I said, you be in your feelings. You don't be a fan of no motherfucking sport. You be a fan of certain situations. That's it. You a fucking goofy. It frustrates you to talk. You stay frustrated so much that it make you talk crazy on your channel. I think the reason he keep trying to tell y'all Shakur or Tank and everybody else is a duck because he's sick off the fact Deontay Wilder ducked the fuck out Anthony Joshua, turning down that 12.5 mil, 15 mil, then 120 mil. That was a for sure duck from his guy, his favorite fighter, y'all. That was a for sure duck that we'll never forget. Frank Martin ducked the fuck out of Shakur. And Devin Haney ducked the fuck out of Shakur for not waiting to see if Shakur could get the 30% he was entitled to. He was entitled to get. Yeah. For not waiting to see if he could get the 30% that he was entitled to get. That's a motherfucking duck for sure. I mean, and it don't matter what you claim Devin's resume will look like if he beat those certain fighters. You on your live the other day before you got off. Oh, and if he beat all of these fighters, if Devin beat all these certain fighters, he got the best resume in boxing, and he's the greatest of this era and last era. You see how he's the GOAT of this era and last era, trying to make him better than Bud. That's what he's trying to do on the low right there, y'all. when the bottom line is, Devin will never. Just because of how you talk. Just because of how you talk right now. And don't got him in the back seat to Bud. Just because how you talk now. Devin will never surpass Bud. Because another thing, Devin will never be he will never be 3-time undisputed. Never. I'm letting you know that right now. That's factual talk from Buckle Up. Devin Haney will never be 3-time undisputed. All right? And most of all, Devin won't even be a 5-division champion. Because he got to go to 54 or 60 or 68. He's not going in them divisions and becoming a champion. He will never be a 5-division champion. So Devin will always be beneath Bud. He will always be beneath Bud. Bud, the greatest of all time at this point. The GOAT. Devin never reaches GOAT status. GOAT means greatest of all time. And Bud earned that. You feel me? I know it's killing you to have to let it sit on you. But yeah, it is what it is. Bud earned that. Devin hasn't and never will. See y'all on the Get Back.
I got drugs, he got drugs too. You know thugs, I know thugs cool. Give a slug, catch a slug. play it safe out here. Ring, ring, tryna stack the prop. Need me, baby, no I got trash star, no coke crop. Hit the pack off with no problem. Came out, feel like we hit the lottery. Don't do perks like the weed inside of me. I can't be real as I gotta be different. Call the money playing Monopoly. Pockets full of them dead guys. Trying to focus, I'm looking through red eyes. Yeah. I can't sleep so my man died, baby. I'm always up, I'm a vampire. Yeah. Came out, feel like we hit the lottery. Don't do perks like the weed inside of me. I can't be real as I gotta be different. Call the money playing Monopoly. Pockets full of them dead guys. Trying to focus, I'm looking through red eyes. Yeah. I can't sleep so my man died, baby. I'm always up, I'm a vampire. Yeah. And I feel like these niggas been sleeping on me. Cause I'm hot like the kid got a heater on. I feel like half cause I gotta keep it going. I'm so up, I ain't got time for that sleeping short. I need low, tell me what to do. You gon' go if it's me or you. Run it up, ain't shit else to do. Young niggas breaking all the rules. Tell me what it is, nigga. We real niggas. It took a couple years, nigga. We here, nigga. I done dropped a couple times.